Hi there. Yesterday I showed you my mock-ups that I make with brown paper bags for when I'm making a scene with people, because it's hard to get the details right for people, and I like to have a mock-up so that when I've chosen the paper I really want to use, that I don't waste it on bad cuts. So here's my piece that I'm going to do. I'm working on paper, which is not what I typically do, but right now I'm trying to make things that are less expensive for people to buy during the pandemic. So I'm working on paper, and here's my three women that I'm going to be making. And you can see that they're each cut out of brown paper bag in layers, and I've labeled each one. Like this one says light brown curly hair and dress and left. This is the left person's hand. Sometimes if they're going to have multiple, like this is the right person's hand, and then she's also got another hand, and this one I think I put on it that it was the right hand. This is the right arm and the left arm for the right person. So that once I pull these apart, I have a clue where they go and who they belong to. So the next step in this is going to be to start. Now I've picked out my paper, so the next thing to do is going to be to start cutting various pieces and replacing the pattern with the part that I really want to use. So I have chosen some papers from my magazines that I'm working with, and some that I had put aside as being interesting papers to use someday. Now you notice that this woman in the back, the center person, she doesn't have an entire shirt nor entire pants because she's behind the others and not all of that will show. So I'm going to tear, here's her neck, head, hair, here's her arm, here's her shirt, and I'm going to use this Estee Lauder ad and cut out around my template that I had made. I'm making her this color because she's in the back, and so she should be a more subdued color than the people in the front, to make it look like she's in the distance. So when I finish with the pattern piece, I actually set it aside and keep it because until I finish this particular artwork, I might need that again. Ask me how I know this. So I like to just set it aside so that I have it. And here we're going to do her arm. If possible, I like to use the same color, but if possible, a slightly different part of the original picture so that you get some variety, so that you can tell that that's an arm. And can you tell? Because that's got a slightly different paper. So I'm going to glue that together. And that goes like that. Okay. Always put the cap on your glue before you stop. Because if it dries out, it's no use to anybody. So I'm going to do that. Here I'm just going to make a few little cuts to make that better. Now, the same woman, I need her face. I'm going to use her face and her neck. I'm going to use this really cool paper. I don't have a lot of this, but it was the inside of some sort of a photo album from years ago. And I love it because it's a really nice color for skin tone. So I'm going to cut around my pattern. This paper tears very easily because it's old, so I have to be careful that I don't tear it when I don't mean to. So that's going to be her neck and face. I think this is a little bit too much. Okay. And that bit of paper wants to fold. So we're going to do this. This will be her hair. I have decided that since women with gray hair are underrepresented in art, she's going to have gray hair. So I've got a piece of gray paper over here. Find it. There we go. It's sort of a warm gray. It's out of a Nordstrom catalog. Nordstrom catalogs have fabulous paper. I use them as much as I can. They don't work for everything, but for a lot of things, oh yeah. Okay, so I'm kind of cutting that. Now I noticed when I had made the mock-up of this that it was just a little bit too small on that one side, so I gave it a little extra. You can always trim extra. You can't always make up if you get things too small. Let's see, let's make this renaissance point. Let's see how that works on her head. She needs to be looking just slightly to her right. Okay, I think that needs a little bit more trimming. That's too long through the bangs. So we'll cut wavy through there. Oh, that's much better. Do you think? Can you see it? Like that. So I'm going to glue that on. And then again, it's got a little bit less paper on the right-hand side, on her right-hand side, so that it will look like that part is not as close to you. Okay, that's going to work. Lie flat, please. Okay, so here's this gal. Yep. Yep, I think that's good. I'm going to trim a little bit on the top of this. I think it's just a little bit too much. That's better. Okay. Okay, so we've got our middle figure. Here's the paper for her pants. I'm not sure she's going to need this much because she's going to be at least partially behind the woman who stands on the right, but it won't hurt to have this done. You also notice she doesn't have, this woman doesn't have a right arm because you're not going to see her right arm, and I'm even going to trim the paper that isn't purple so that it isn't there to be off-putting. Again, not super happy with the proportions on that, but she's going to be in the back and you're not going to see so much of her, so we'll see how that works. I'm not going to glue her on the paper yet because I need to make the other two women. You see how she's going to come behind the woman on the right and the woman on the left. Now I notice there's a flaw in the middle of that paper. This is how I spend easily half my time while I'm working, is trying to find the paper that I had already put aside. So I have learned to not put the paper all the way away. I've learned to at least leave it on my work table until I'm finished. So a squiggly piece of paper looks more natural than just if I just cut a little tiny bit and stuck on there. So I'm also going to cut some more now that I've added text to her, I'm going to cut a little bit more so it doesn't look like that one spot was just a mistake, even though we know it was. No one else needs to know that. Okay. That will work. All right, lid to glue is here under something. There it is. I actually save extra glue lids. I have them over here in my magic bag of tricks. I actually save extra ones so that if I misplace the one that I'm currently working with, I don't actually have to find it. I can use one that I've already got. Okay, so who's next? I think we're going to do this gal next. So let's take her apart. Scissors. That's the other thing I spend a lot of time looking for. Oh, that's a hand. Okay. And she's going to have a tunic-y kind of thing. Okay. So she's, let's take off her head. You've seen her only from the back, so she'll have hair. Okay. So I want to use this pinky stuff for this person. Let's see how this is going to fit, because we also have an arm to do, and all of her is going to show. Let me see with her arm. See, the arm would work better there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut her body part out of this side of the paper. You'll notice I cut a little bit more to the right than was on the template, because I'm trying to even it out. The template was a little one-sided. So here's our template. So here's this gal, and we're going to cut her arm. Not her hand. Let's hold on to her hand. Okay. I'm going to cut her left arm. That's going to go behind the woman who she's standing next to. I don't know about you, but during this pandemic, I miss my girlfriends. I miss my girlfriends a lot. This is why I am doing, right now, this week at any rate, I'm doing lots of art that is women standing together. It's on purpose. It's not a mistake. I'm doing it on purpose. I want to show women being there for each other, because we will be again. Okay, so here's this gal and her arm, and then she's got a right arm also. So let's get that same piece of paper and cut that. Here again, I'm using the brighter color of pink so that you will see that that is an arm. It's not just more of her body. Now, something that I like to do on these pieces that, you know, they're not of great importance. See how that's gonna, can you see that? No. So this is gonna go like this. There's her arm. So one of the things that I do to make it so that the arm that's going to get glued underneath this will lie flat and won't make this piece bubble a whole lot, is I tear the innermost bit of the paper so that it will lie flatter underneath. So I put the glue on. Yeah, she has long hair, so she's going to, her hair will cover that at the top. And there's a little bit of a piece there that didn't glue, so we'll just tear that off. We don't need that. And this is going to be her arm that goes this way, but I don't want to glue it just yet until I have a better idea exactly what the angle should be. So let's do I need 2 hands for her, and hair and pants. Here's the pattern piece for the pants. Seems like those might be leggings, don't you think? Or maybe, no, maybe she's wearing jeans. We'll let her wear jeans. And I've got this nice blue that looks kind of like blue jeans. And here again, I'm going to cut around, but I'm leaving a little extra, and I'm going to tear that so that the top will lie flat against it. It's just better to have fewer layers. The more layers that you have in a piece, the more careful you have to be about it lying flat. And the harder it is to get it to lie flat, to be perfectly honest. So here's her top, and here's her, and I cut this a little big on purpose so that I would have room to maneuver it. So glue on her jeans, and then I'm gonna set this up. Oh, doesn't need to be trimmed much. Isn't that lovely? Just like that. Okay, and that's all glued down on that side. So here's this gal. She needs hands, she needs hair. Let's see. I'm using this paper, which is a really, really old paper, and I don't have much of it. So it's precious to me, but I only have a few pieces left. So I'm going to use this for her skin tone. All we're going to see is her hands. But I wanted this piece, I wanted for her to appear to be perhaps Asian, so I'm using an olive colored paper for her hands. I'm going to tear the top of that so that will lie flat, but not the side of it because there just isn't that much. Okay, there we go. And I have, where'd her hand go? Here we are again, trying to find things. I had her pieces down here. That goes over there. Alright, well, her hand will turn up at some point when I don't care anymore. So I will just cut a hand. Now, it took me forever when I was first starting to make hands. My first hands were just atrocious. They were so bad. It was really discouraging. But now I've kind of got the hang of it. And I've discovered that part of it is knowing that the thumb, which direction the thumb should go. And I happen to know that your thumb should go up. So, there's this woman. I'll get the scraps out of here. Scraps. Okay, so she's going to be like this. I just need her hair. And her hair is going to be black. Now we'll see if we can find the pattern piece for her hair. Here it is. Woohoo! I did it. That looks a little more dark gray than black, but I think we can make it work. I always like to give a little definition at the bottom of the hair to make it look more natural. Now she's got, you see how there's a little tiny bit of the of this white bit at the edge of her hair. So I'm going to cut some more pieces, but I don't want them to be curly, so I have to be really careful because my default, of course, because I'm curly hair, is to make curly hair on people. So that will work. Glue that over the white part. And I try to not have only one piece. If I'm going to cut in like we did with the top earlier, I like to have at least a couple so that they look more purposeful. So I'm going to add a few more of these. But not all right in a row. I think that's going to need some more of it. Okay, let's see. Like I said, not curly, but it can have some weight to it. That one's got too much of a curl. Looks like she needs one more over here on the left side. Okay. Now, as you can see, this kind of stuff takes a long time, and this is after I've already gone to all the work to actually cut the patterns for it. So I'm not going to make you watch the whole thing. I'm going to put the cap on my glue, and then you will get to see the finished piece. Thanks.